Hi, this is Phil Soussan coming at you once again for another stunning episode of bass tips and tricks. Somebody asked me, how do you set up a bass? I'm going to show you how I approach setting up a bass. Please note, this is really like a hotel room. I'm at a gig. My bass just doesn't feel quite right and I just want to give it a quick check. This isn't how to fix a bent neck or a twisted neck or something that's fundamentally wrong with the guitar, for which I would suggest, unless you really know what you're doing, that you take it to a luthier or somebody who's qualified to set up your bass and really look it over, give it the once over. So this is a precision type bass, and basically the only adjustments I'm going to address here are going to be the truss rod adjustment, which affects the relief of the neck. I'm going to talk about the adjustment of the bridge saddles, and finally the intonation. So what I want to do, the very first thing I want to do is look at the relief of the neck. The relief is when I string my bass, it's going to pull the neck out this way. There's going to be a bend in the neck, and we can adjust for that using the truss rod. The truss rod is an adjustment that is either found at this end, or sometimes it's found at this end, and sometimes it's covered with a little plate at either end and may require some dismantling to get to it. But in essence, what I want to do is I want to check the curvature of the neck. The way I do it, hold down the first, does the E string, the low string here, hold down the first fret, and then hold down, on this case, this would be the 20th fret, hold down the 20th fret, and I'm looking for a small amount of movement at the neck here. I want to check at the 12th fret as well. I can hear if there's any movement there, and I can see it. Going to the 20th fret, there I'm looking for about 2 business cards worth of movement. Maybe 1, I don't know. But what I'm doing is I'm pushing down and I'm wanting to make sure that I can see movement all the way up at every fret. If I can see movement, that means that I've got a nice curvature and it's not too extreme. If it's too curved, what I'm going to do is tighten down the truss rod. Now, we're not talking about spinning it round, we're talking about quarter turns maximum at a time. Take it down a quarter turn, pull the neck back and forth, give it a few moments to settle and check it, and so on and so forth. Also very important, some basses, they have a reverse thread on the truss rod. Early Spectres did this, for example. When you tighten the truss rod, it's not going to straighten the neck, it's actually going to give it more of a curve. So it's very important to make sure you're going the right way. If in doubt, little movements and then double check. Once I've got that to the point where this neck is, as this one is pretty much perfect, I then want to adjust my string height. So first truss rod, second string height, I'll go to my string saddles and there are screws in there. Once again, sometimes you screw them clockwise to raise, other times it can be clockwise to lower. It varies from guitar to guitar. Make sure you're doing the right thing. And what I want to do, once again, is I want to bring down the strings until I've got a manageable action, one that's comfortable for me. I'm looking at about 3/16 of an inch on my E string, going down to about 1/8 of an inch on my G string. It might be more, might be less for you, whatever feels comfortable. It is important, once I've gotten it to where I like it, is I want to make sure that the curvature of the strings matches the radius of the neck. What that means is that they're not flat. If I put my hand across the strings, it's not flat, it's kind of curved. And I simply do it visually. Once again, you can buy a gauge to do this if you want to become a luthier and do this full time. Otherwise, what you can do is just eyeball it. I like to look at my bass and look at the E string and tilt it. And as I tilt it, I want to see each string come across the horizon with the same curvature as the neck. This is very unscientific, and it's very much a visual and a feel thing. Once again, it's just a hotel room setup. Once I've got that right, and it all feels good to me, and I want to make sure that there's no buzzing or rattling, I know that I've got a pretty good action. I can do that on all my strings. I'm not going to do it now. You can do it back there in the comfort and quiet of your own home. Final step is to check the intonation. The way you check the intonation is you tune your guitar. You take your E string, for example, hit a harmonic in the E string, tune it up so that it's nicely in tune, stop the E string at the 12th fret, play again, and check. That should be an octave higher, but it should be also an E. If it's sharp, it means this string length from the bridge to my 12th fret is too short. If it's too short, I need to make it longer. In other words, I need to pull the saddle in the direction that makes the string longer. And conversely, if it's flat, what it means that length of string is going to be obviously too long. If it's too long, I want to tighten it up, make the string length shorter. Again, maximum 1 turn, 1.5 turns at a time. Retune, check, one more time. Adjust, retune, check, adjust, retune, check until I've got it perfectly dialed in, and do it for each of the strings. Once I've done that, my guitar should be perfectly set up. And very quick process, shouldn't take you more than about 15 minutes, 20 minutes max, and your guitar should be good to go. Any serious problems? Refer to a pro. Do what I do, take it to a really good luthier, somebody who really knows how to fix these things. Anyway, please, once again, thanks for subscribing. Leave any questions down below, I will answer them. Any comments, anything, any requests for future videos, we are going to be doing more of these, and thanks for checking in. See you out there on the road.